Welcome back to Let's Play Disco Elysium. Last episode, we were in the aftermath of the shootout, and we spoke to everybody, all the NPCs within the vicinity. Okay, I have to mention, when it happened, you were right out there on the balcony.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. That's because I'm a badass.
Just nod stoically.
He nods back at you, even more stoically. Just two badass men nodding.
Stop.
Make that three. The lieutenant.
Stop, people got hurt, okay? I can't.
Fuck, does Kuno care?
What's going on with you, Kuno? Tell me.
It's not Kuno. It's Kuno S.
Interesting. How?
Kuno S is by far the worst of the two.
And now we're on our way to the island. The collaboration that Zaum is doing with Atelier drops in about an hour and a half. Best of luck to all of the Revacholians out there trying to get their hands on it. Unfortunately, I did not autofill my payment information the night before, so to all those who did, good on you guys. Yeah, I really do hope I'm able to nick one though. That would be nice. Right. Now, I'm not sure if we spoke to the fishing village or the church yet, so I'm gonna run through that real quick.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
I got shot.
Even I can see that. I told you not to bring your trouble with you, policeman.
Sorry.
Though I suppose you took the worst of it. Turns out you were your own ill omen. I'm not sure those were the last of the men with guns either.
Then we'll be ready for them.
Oh, I do hope so.
Man, you're like bleeding now.
Okay.
Officer, what happened? You're limping. Why are you limping? You look terrible.
You're not limping. You're you.
Some people hurt me.
Is this from the shooting in town? We heard gunshots. Not that we don't hear gunshots all the time, but they were closer than usual.
There was an exchange of fire on Rue de Saint-Guylaine. It's nothing to be worried about, madame.
You didn't only get shot.
I have a question for you.
Of course.
We
Can I
need
help you
to
with something?
we need to get to that island.
That won't be a problem. It's wind still and the tar just dried. We've got 2 days of relative sunshine ahead.
What's on that island? I saw some kind of ruins through the binoculars.
Used to be some kind of fortification there before the war. For the communards. An anti-aircraft gun, I think, bombed to bits in the landing. I haven't been there myself. Always steered clear of it.
Hasn't been there herself. Who has then?
You said you haven't been there yourself. Who has then, if not you?
My husband used to drink there. Him and his drinking buddies. Always seemed like a bad place to drink to me. People died there during the landing, you know. My mother told me.
This must be one of the many fortifications that was used in the dying days of the revolution against coalition forces before they took this city.
The kids sometimes go there too. I know they do, on rafts. I tell them not to, but they bring back old bullet casings and such.
Which kids?
The twins. God forbid they bring the girl along on some rickety barge.
Can we maybe ask your twins about that place before we go? Would that be alright?
Be my guest. They've a strange way of talking. See if you can get anything useful out of them. I seldom do.
Is there anything I should know before about getting there?
Well, most of it's sunken. Underwater. That means concrete underwater. Cut your boat if you're not careful. Be sure to enter from the south side. Water's deep there.
Aye, aye, Captain.
South side. 2 days of sunshine. I think this is some kind of flirting. 2 days of sunshine. I just got a bacterial infection.
I'm sad to hear that. Take care of that with ether, will you? Don't get too many RCM men round here. Be sad to lose the first one.
That's cool. You boasting your bacterial infection like that.
Okay, can we borrow your boat?
If you promise to bring it back, and no scraping the hull, I just got it nice and yellow, and no drinking on the boat, and no joyriding either.
Of course, ma'am. It's only for a day or two. Official police business.
Aye.
Nod.
The crow's feet disappear from the corners of her eyes as she smiles at you.
Thank you. We'll use your skiff to get there then.
Please be conservative with the fuel, will you? Just filled her up, but it's a small tank.
It's got an engine. God, these fallen pants are so pretentious, but they're honestly kind of the best stat pants I got right now.
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone while the other watches him do it.
Okay, kids, you've been to that island, right?
On that island?
Yeah, that one. I need to know what's there.
That's, nothing. It's just a seaport and some plants. You can take a raft there. It's great. And we make a fire. We make a fire. Mm-hmm. Gather the sticks for the fire. And bullets. Or not real bullets. Empty bullets.
Damn, these twins, they sound like they're younger than the girl in there.
Bullet shells. There are a lot of them left over from the war, but this could be important.
Wait, you mean shells?
I don't know what those are. They're nice. The fire guy comes and asks us to put the fire out.
Your nerve endings sting from the mention of a guy. They must mean a human being on that island, but it's cut off.
Someone lives on the island?
No. Yes.
Let's go with yes.
Why is he the fire guy?
Because he asks to put the fire out.
Why does he ask you to put the fire out?
I don't know. He doesn't like it. He don't like people to be there. He shouldn't go. Yes.
Because he doesn't want to be found. Smoke traces.
You mentioned something about lights?
I don't know.
Did you mean there are electrical lights?
Yes.
Is there anything else you can tell me about this guy? Age? Does he live there?
No, he doesn't live there. I don't think. No, he lives there. Been there twice, 2 times. He doesn't live there. He isn't there sometimes.
Anything else? What does this guy look like?
I don't know. We ran. He just yelled we shouldn't be there.
Your father used to go to that island too, didn't he?
Our father killed himself. Don't say that, he didn't.
The brother punches him. The boy's eyes well up like he's about to start crying. I'm not good with kids. Your father did not kill himself.
I don't know. Doesn't even have anything to do with this, you. Father isn't the fire guy.
The two things are unconnected. Your question didn't make sense.
Is that all you know? Is there anything more you can tell me about the island?
There's
Lights, fire guy. We should check up on that island.
Okay. Then that's that. There's a boat. Here we go. Light the graffito. Or go to the island. Oh, so close to my date of birth.
A skiff with a small steering engine in the back floats on the calm mirror of the sea. Its 2 seats are empty. Have you made all the necessary preparations? Closed all your accounts? Remember what the net picker said. It's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this.
It's okay, I made a save. You take the engine, Kim. I'll hold the boombox.
What?
What? How else do we blast Sad FM on our way to the island?
Fine. Let's blast Sad FM then.
Sad FM is a radio station specializing in sad, slow rock songs. You seem to know its frequency by heart.
Alright, get in. Right to the island.
Want to be free. Want to be free.
Oh, this is a nice boat rhythm. And this is some kind of low roar shit. We've got the streamer mode on, so hopefully my video doesn't get doxxed. But you know what? I don't know enough about YouTube and copyright songs. All I know is that you get 3 strikes and your whole channel disappears. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Oh, full view of the church then. Yeah, that would make a sick nightclub. Oh, and they layer the different sounds too. Reminds me of this one song. Low Roar recently came out with a very aquatic themed album. Song's called Fucked Up. Island is pretty close. I see an oil spill. Wow, what a pretty game. So pretty.
The boat comes to a slow stop. The lieutenant turns the engine off. Then there's silence. In the silence, a sputter of wings. A flock of quails takes off in the distance.
Let's go.
Alright, we should save. Let's maybe zoom out a little bit. A makeshift bridge. The bombs were powerful enough to break the foundation. The rusted chain trails off into the ocean.
The chain trails off into the ocean, connecting the island to the supply depot on the coast.
This leads to the depot in Land's End.
Ah, yes, so it seems.
And what do you think it was used for?
For bringing munitions to the island, maybe? And supplies? You could also lock the bay when you raise the chain.
As a defensive measure, lock it off that side of the bay.
Lock it from whom?
From enemies. Enemies of the commune of Revachol. This sea fort was a revolutionary fortification, I believe.
How much more time? 9 minutes. These tires are falling apart. They're at least 50 years old. Attention, inflammable. Some fuel has leaked out of the barrel, black, viscous. There's a lingering trace of mazout in the air.
The dry grass crackles under your feet as you stop. Far away, birds' wings touch the still surface of the sea.
What's the flutter?
The flock of quail departs, now more than 100 meters away, 102, 105.
Underneath the flutter.
On the islet, there is almost no wind, just the light movement of air through the reeds. Bulrushes swaying on the waterline, long dried leaves chafing against each other, like a silent orchestra tuning at the beginning of some major work.
Okay, let's orient ourselves to the west.
A silent hiss, sea air moving through the needles of a pine tree.
The east?
The faraway roar of the city, distant like today's dream. Before it, the sound of sand. The low tide filtered through its grains, a bird tending to its feathers.
Ahead.
A low hum. The air slowly moves through a concrete box, through its ancient slits and cracks, resonating, hollow. A big building.
Beyond that, further north.
Air flows out of a pillbox window. There is very little there. The air cossets flowers on a meadow. Absolute silence. Reeds motionless. Bulrushes motionless.
And below the silence,
A jitter. A sound impatient to happen, but not yet in this world.
Kim.
Yes?
It's really fucking silent on this island.
It is. Is that why we are stopping?
The lieutenant nods in silence.
I open my eyes. I stop listening. The barrel says ICM. You see a star with little specks in it. Now might be a good time to don our revolutionary's hat. +1 to Mazovian socioeconomics.
This hat is so soft, so warm. It wraps around your head, and your mind tingles with all manner of socio-economic theory.
This is an Ushanka hat, right?
Kraz Mazov would have worn this Ushanka. Mazov knew where to cook those thoughts. That's why it bears a Mazovian logo. Glory to the revolution, comrade.
The little bird from the coin-operated viewer, still holding on. Hey man, no way to get up there. The stairs are gone. I'm assuming this leads down. Oh, a lot of things we can miss here. Careful, these stairs have collapsed. There was once an armament rest. Twin cannons were attached here. Medium distance, large caliber. Books, mostly fantastique and historical fiction.
An old cylindrical generator is nested above the ammo lift, with makeshift electrical wiring running out of its side and across the floor. The cables disappear into the wall to your right. The lieutenant puts his hand on the metal barrel, checking for warmth.
It's cold now, but someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Where do these wires lead?
Downstairs, somewhere?
What kind of generator is this?
Liquid carbon. I would imagine it takes mazout. The kind that's favored by vagrants and fuel thieves. It's been a long winter, long and cold.
If anyone stayed here, they'd need a generator.
Tap on the side.
A hollow ring. The canister is empty.
I don't know. I'm not a philosopher.
That is his idea of a joke.
No more kicking things. I meant, why is it here?
Someone who has basic electrical skills has restored it in order to keep the room warm. Maybe it's the fire guy.
The wind outside picks up suddenly, with a faint howl. Inside, it's warm.
Tell me
Date
when
of
I was
birth
born,
generator.
please. When was I born?
You were born in the year 07, in the last year of the Commune of Revachol, right before it fell, in the old military hospital on the ground floor, where people usually came to die during a snowstorm. The revolution had about 1 year left to go, and the fires were still burning bright. There were explosions in the blizzard. This was 44 years ago. You are 44 years old. The bloating might never leave your face, but beneath it, you still have some years. You still have some hope.
Hell yeah. Okay. Next up. Dishes stained with sauce and fire. A survivor's kitchen.
There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner, resting on piles of soft cover books. White linen and a pillow are visible under a worn-out caracal blanket.
Someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh. Recently
Sorry.
washed.
How recently?
You force the rest of the sentence out through pain, thick as molasses, no longer able to hear yourself speak.
You know, officer, you can rest here if you are feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead.
Foreshadowing. Okay, maybe a little shut-eye. Just an hour.
You face the concrete wall. There's less light there, in the dark corner. Like a dog, you lie there. You didn't realize how tired you were. Your body is still nowhere near healed.
Curl up with your knees, close your chest. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Fetal. Let's go.
The blanket feels cold. The entire room does. Concrete and cold. Minutes pass. Half an hour maybe. The sounds of the sea beyond grow distant. Your eyelids close. Until you feel yourself standing up in the darkness, right next to the mattress. Slowly, the world begins to hatch from the blackness. It's evening.
No. Where's Kim? Get up, you idiot. Where is Kim? Oh no. Yeah, we're going back. This great blast door must weigh over 10 tons. Rust peels off of it.
You see a small metal door nested inside a larger one. A heavy steel blast door. There is a conventional keyhole above the handle. It's very small.
What's on the other side?
Another part of the island, probably. The lock looks like it could still be usable.
How do we open this?
Maybe this is one of the doors we don't open?
He's right. It would be better to open its big brother. A powerful engine hangs under the ceiling. It must control the blast door.
You're right. We open the big one. Do you see any controls anywhere?
I think there's a console just southeast. Let's look around. Getting the blast door open seems like the best plan.
Green paint flecks off the monoblock aluminium cabinet. There are rows of switches on the front panel, a frequency band, and even a keyboard.
And what's this then?
The console of an antique computation device. The generator upstairs, with wires coming out, they terminate here.
Could this open the blast door?
Possibly. Urgence, ouvert, allumé, radiodiffusé. It sounds like this device was used to control the electronics here. Maybe it still does.
This device was used to control the electronics in the room. It could open doors, control lights, function as a radio computer.
We'll leave it for now. Check the hatch. This hatch is jammed shut. Water rushes below, far down below. A firing slit. You can't see inside. It must have been a direct hit to take out such a huge chunk. The distant sound of cargo ships, signal horns echo to the water. The ice cracks under your feet. Be careful not to fall through. The pain in your pelvis makes you wince, then you continue. The inside of the fortress. You make out the console on the blast door. I forgot we shouldn't be running. But I'm so impatient. I can't help it.
There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits like two eyes in the wall.
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to shoot from.
Inspect the mattress.
A single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Brand name, Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, along with cigarette burns. And an empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarette butts.
Pick one out of the can.
The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand, Tio Moteri. Contemporary Revacholians prefer Druan, a local blend from the southern islands, or Astra, the legendary cigarette from Grad. Tio Moteri is favored by older men. for its paper filter tips, sweet smell, and added tar.
Teomatire, like the ones we found at Land's End, remember?
I may have been wrong when I said it wasn't important. This means the same person could have visited both locations. I didn't see any signs of smoking inside though. If people live there, they keep it tidy. This here may also be a smoking spot.
Inspect the wall.
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window.
Touch the concrete first.
Quite old and grimy from years without cleaning by anything other than the rain.
And look through the hole in the concrete.
The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out. A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. 1 kilometer across the water. The ruins look familiar.
On the left.
A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside apartments. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A and 33B.
On the right.
The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the Whirling in Rags. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 10. The doomed commercial area.
And between the two.
The box-shaped silhouette of the Whirling in Rags. You see a small fleck of white on the rooftop, the upstairs window of Clausia's room, in the snow, reflecting light.
There it is.
Do you have a line of sight to the window?
More than that.
Kim, with a pair of binoculars, I would be able to see inside the room.
A pair of binoculars? Or a scope of a rifle? You'd be prone, lying on a mattress, barrel resting on the embrasure.
Cheek against a cheek rest, hand on the hair trigger, on a calm day like this.
Kim, I could make it. I could make the shot.
Good. I think we have it, Detective. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest.
Affirmative.
Oh, finally.
In our defense, nothing pointed here. Many leads pointed elsewhere.
You're right. Although 6 people are dead, we could have prevented it.
Don't beat yourself up, officer. We did not put guns in their hands or get them drunk. We will make up for it. Here. I feel it.
Could the shooter still be here?
Where?
On this island.
He does not answer, just nods. With his back hunched, he looks around once more.
We should move now.
Okay. Let's inspect the items here real quick. LUM fuel canister. A weathered artillery map showing coordinates in the Bay of Revachol. An old med cabinet, newly stocked with dramamine. Oh, what's this? There's something going on with this. Zoom in. Oh, pills.
There's a rain-soaked mattress.
Beach.
Alright, we're done here. No flashlight. And quick save. How do we get over there? What is that sound? The winch is broken. Rust has eaten what remains of the chain. What is that sound? I don't know. Alright, let's do this.
The console is powered off and covered in dust. Urgence ouvert reads a dial key. Allumer reads another.
Okay.
The frequency band says radio diffuser. The console is powered off and covered in dust.
Turn
Urgence
emergency open.
ouvert.
We need to restore power before using this, officer. The generator, it didn't look like there was fuel in it. We should look around outside. There are barrels all over.
The boat engine. The console looks on as you talk. Mute the dial, slides under the glass. Silently, you make out defunct stations on the UKV frequency.
Insular. This is an off-air radio computer, I believe, used for military communications.
It's an air-gapped system, an off-air military model. Its circuits are nearly impossible to bend, i.e., it cannot be remote controlled. Nothing happens.
Okay, I think we found some fuel from the thing. So let's get over here.
This old cylindrical generator, the lieutenant assists you, holding the canister up to the fuel tank as you tilt. Dark brown, viscous fluid pours out, and the room fills with a chemical smell. There's a red starter switch on the side of the cylinder and a start rope on the other side. The lieutenant flicks the switch.
Pull the rope.
The recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters like an old warhorse before settling down to a rattle.
That should do it.
Books and magazines lie scattered on the floor and on a makeshift cupboard. They are not particularly well organized.
Sift through them.
Most are soft covers, serialized fantastique and detective stories from the 20s and 30s. This disparate digest includes the classic Animal Adventures. Popular depictions of man versus nature by amateur naturalists T&T Harpin, husband and wife. Widely read by people from all walks of life. Who doesn't like nature? Who doesn't want to survive? Among what is mostly commercial fiction and serialized stories, you find a magazine cathodique for electrical engineering. Then it's back to pulp. Light erotica, an international thriller about circuit benders.
Someone's made themselves a home.
Conceptualization.
Soft covers, serialized fantastique and detective stories. Animal Adventure. Oh yes, under the bed, there is a rather extensive collection of critical theory. That is, dour, life non-affirming left-wing literature, published by small imprints such as Abattoir Firm and Ouzia. It's not exactly like reading.
Ha, look Kim, deranged commie ranting.
Ooh, yeah. I agree. Humanitarian sciences. It stands out. Not a lot of critical theory around in Havashol West.
Your incendiary remark has failed to provoke him. Wasn't there some in the communist student's room?
A student in the apartment building seemed to have some as well.
Well, yes. That one student did.
The little books seem inconsequential next to the big pile of frivolous entertainment covering them.
Critical theory books. What do you think this means?
Again, I am not a philosopher, but whoever has lived here, they have some education and a certain set of interests.
Interesting.
Okay.
A dim golden glow and
It's on. Turn emergency open.
automatic boot. The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in.
Wow, that's really heavy duty. Open up the blast doors.
After you.
What's there?
I don't know.
A thin wisp of smoke rises from a charred black fire pit. The wind picks up, then dies down again.
And what if we get into another fight?
Don't worry. I have a gun.
I don't have a gun.
Extra good that I do.
Ah, shit. Wonder where that gun is. I have a feeling you'd have to play Everard and his information to figure it out, but... Hey, are these the flowers from the roof? Small white flowers blossom all around you. A rubber dinghy. It's deflated, broken. Oh, there's the man. The fire starter. Nope, no secret locations here.
An old man wearing tracksuit trousers leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth, then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours. Unclouded by cataracts, his eyesight is sharp.
Are you the fire guy?
The what now? I can't hear you.
Did you recently tell 2 kids to put out their fire? 2 twins?
I may have. All sorts of little rats have come sniffing around, trying to give up the position.
Oh man, this guy's voice is... It's got depth.
The position sounds like a hiding place.
Not just deep, but truly.
Fire guy. Regressive bourgeoisie henchman. Can't even talk like a grown-up.
You retained your eyesight.
My eyesight? Yes. Helps me see all the shit.
Did you close the blast door?
I did. And you opened it. How?
I fueled the generator. I used the console.
I should have burned that console down.
How did you know I was coming?
Reactionary rock and roll music. Playing on the water.
Alright.
Told you we shouldn't play sad FM.
It was not reactionary, it was cool.
The fascists were right about rock and roll. It is degenerate. Hit gyrating, mental illness music.
Shut up, you don't know how to live. Nice gun you got there.
It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it gets the job done.
Is that a Bell McGraw?
It's a 3-Angong 446.
Southeast Samaran made. Exotic. Must be defunct too. No modern rifle manufacturer of that name springs to mind.
A Samaran rifle. How did you get hold of one?
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Sinyao commune. Military aid.
It has stayed true to him. He can still make it sing.
The Sinyao commune?
You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk wiped from the board.
Sir, I need you to put that gun down so we can talk further. We're with the police.
The lieutenant pulls his pistol from the holster.
You are a glorified night watchman.
His elbows rest on the frame stock, calmly for now. But he may still get it in his hands. Looks like he knows the weapon.
Can we punch up authority? Ah, fucking hell. Fucking psyche. Okay, but keep the gun down while we talk.
No. Put it down now, sir.
Or you're gonna blow my brains out if it's out of bullets.
Like an amputated limb in the sand, he stares on, his wrinkled mouth moving without a sound. A strange sadness, like a song.
What did you say?
The future teaches you to be alone.
The present.
Shut up. The present.
The present to be afraid and cold.
The old man pulls back the hood of his plastic cape and looks up to the sky. It's blue-gray, the same color as the sea. Pick up the gun lying in the sand.
His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. Frame stopped and patched in places with tape and wire.
Inspect it closer.
The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm, made of walnut. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangong, 4.46mm, made in Sinyao.
It's as he said, it's a Triangon, made in Sinyao.
Worn. Personalized even. Looks like this weapon has seen a lot of use, hasn't it, sir?
No response from the old man. The plastic cape around his shoulders rustles and
Jacketed. Military-grade ammunition. Stable in flight. Good for hitting something that's very, very far away.
the old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. His right arm twitches suddenly. Some kind of involuntary response. Something is slightly off with his motorics. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It could be used against him to get a confession. In time.
Those words the future teaches you.
Real music. Real brilliant cult. That's La Chevalier, not your rock and roll misanthropy. Chanson de soldat of the black and whites.
What is La Chevalier?
It is the anthem of the world revolution. One of 3. In Grad, they sang brave children, favorites of history. And in Sinyao, it was... some Samaran shit, I guess.
How does it go? The song.
How did it go? Something about shooting rabbits, right?
He waves erratically with his hand, annoyed that he can't remember. A little tremor passes through him.
Who are you?
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross, Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
There, behind them, across the delta, the Insacom building. Coalition government in Celindian mission control.
The commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? You're a holdover from the...
From the Insulindian Citizens Militia, the army of the revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in '07, trained in the École de Contrôle Orion, and consigned to emergency defense duties in '08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
You've been on this island for 43 years? Wait, no. How long you been on the island?
43 years. No. I've been on other islands too. I was in Resurrection until they turned it into a spa in '18. Then I was an E38, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago.
Again, you've been hiding here for 43 years.
43 years and 10 months.
That's the length of my entire life.
It's too long. It's not how a human being should live. I couldn't just forget what I saw.
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
Where the afternoon grows late, on Rue de Saint-Ghislain, people walk home. Street lights will soon be lit. Further inland, the streets are alive with workers, men, women, children, street hawks and migrant laborers. The temperature is steady. Alto cumulus clouds form above Precinct 41.
Always waiting.
Waiting for what?
For her to return.
Her who?
Girl child. Revolution.
I've been there. The city is a tinderbox. It may still happen.
It won't. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The working class has betrayed mankind and themselves. The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore, however hard I try, whatever I do.
You said you deserted your unit?
I was just 16 years old, 15 when I volunteered. I had a lapse of faith. And of courage, too.
What the hell, you began at 15 years old and that's the reason why you've given yourself this horrible scenario?
You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovian socioeconomics were fallible. A second is all it took.
For what?
For reaction to take hold.
What's reaction?
Petty bourgeois terror. It's in all men.
It wasn't reaction. You were just afraid.
It's the same thing. You haven't seen it. Not really. Not naked. It's impossible not to be afraid.
And this was when?
May the 13th, 08, 44 years ago. The horizon was black with Coalition airships. Their petroleum rose to the sky, and it looked like it formed the clouds. Storm clouds. When they started shelling, it was dark magic.
Dark magic.
The combined might of international capital. All at once, all the greed and terror in the world tore into Revachol. It lifted streets from the ground and turned houses into ghosts. We were in the flak tower,
I can sense it.
huddled on the floor. The artillery was 80 kilometers away in Ozon, but I knew the commune would fall. We would all be turned into ash. So I said I was going to the map room.
And what then?
I ran. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland, in the bunkers underground, like the weakest of the weak. A mouse, frightened of the ordnance all night and the sound of the rotors in the morning. Airships. I climbed out into hell. The landing was complete. The chain was submerged. I had to swim back. The fortress was half submerged too, shattered. They'd all drowned in the lower levels, or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. So had I. I left them without ideological direction. It was real. I'd seen it.
Seen what?
The mask of humanity fall from capital. It has to take it off to kill everyone, everything you love. And then you see it, as it strangles and beats your friends to death.
What?
That the bourgeois are not human.
Say nothing.
I had to. I had to fight it. I had to never stop.
I'm running out of time, but I need to know. What is this place?
It's not an island, Dwight. It's a defensive fortification of the commune of Revachol.
What was it used for?
The congenitally deformed King Philip II built it to restrict access to the Bay of Revachol.
Okay, I mean, you described the
Coalition
landing.
military called it Operation Deathblow. Deathblow. You're one of them. Tell me, who speaks like that? We had 50 million people on Caillou alone.
Firstly, I'm not one of them.
Sure you are. You're RCM. Answer me. Who calls an operation against 50 million people Deathblow?
Murderers. I know what you mean.
You don't know. You haven't seen it. Iblis,
Iblis?
the black-eyed angel.
How have you survived all this time?
How does anyone survive? I steal
Steal what?
supplies, vegetables. I collect rainwater. It's the life of a dog.
How is your health, Mr. Dross?
I've been throwing up blood since winter.
He does seem frail. Good for his age.
The RCM can provide medical services.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy guns.
How have you coped mentally?
I haven't. I don't even know what. Inferno?
You notice the lieutenant is about to say something.
I would imagine it gets tremendously difficult, mentally, to live in isolation.
Traitors. It's better alone. It's disgusting.
And how have you concealed yourself all these years?
It was hard in the tens. I didn't have partisan training.
There were posters.
We communards still hoped, and they needed to snuff that hope out. And others too. Some cordons of Revachol at night.
In the city, you move underground?
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant.
Is the basement
I could walk straight
with
into
the weapons
that town
cache?
if I wanted. I just...
Is that yours?
So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Elmer Graves, right?
Yeah, they were damaged beyond use.
I know.
So you've been there?
Sleeping. Some nights.
You feel the dots connecting. Little dots on the map he's...
I don't want to. They're all traitors. The propaganda bunker. I used to, but not anymore.
Propaganda bunker?
They stored leaflets there. A lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. I do.
Ever smoked too materia on the mainland?
They're good. Plenty of tar.
The old man looks across the water, at the city, the ruins, the motorways rising above it.
You said this is your termless surrender.
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol. Let's take me to them as a prisoner of war.
A spray of blood from his mouth. Rene, the royalist on the coast, said.
The communards signed the Revacholian Instrument of Surrender.
Liberal reactionaries signed that instrument.
Is that part of why you've been here all this time? Because
He just wipes the blood from his chin.
Understood.
I don't think you did. No, I am not a soldier. I am an ideological officer. I belong to the party, not the army.
But you said you were trained and assigned to the Defense Corps.
Trained in historical materialism.
The old man does not answer.
his job was to assure the army answers to civilian control.
Scientific communism.
Awakened from shutdown by the promise of ideology.
So you're a trained communist?
He nods slowly. He looks away to the sea and lets out a cough.
Okay, last questions. 5 minutes before the atelier drop. God, I'm an idiot. I have another question.
There's nothing serious in this world.
What have you been using this
It's a
gun
farce. I've used it for killing people.
Killing people?
It's a gun. I've used it to kill people.
Interesting. During or after the war?
There is no after the war.
So he's continued killing after hostilities ended. This is it. You can feel it, like battery acid on the tip of your tongue. Something you haven't felt in a while.
But what?
This is what you live for. The great serotonin jackpot. The solution. Go in straight. No euphemisms. No. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first.
Wait, did you use that gun to shoot the security officer from Canal? So you're saying you kill people after? I know you want to tell me. Have you killed anyone with that gun? Which one do I say?
Nothing comes to you, and in them, a chill.
Detective.
All is not what it seems? Dude, I have 3 minutes until the fucking drop. The atelier drop. Fine, I know what you want to tell me. Have you killed anyone with that gun in the last week or two?
I don't want to tell you anything, you grotesque murderer.
So you're saying you killed people after the active fighting stopped?
What did I just say?
What did I just tell you? Don't drop the ball now.
Okay, fine. Did you use that gun to shoot and kill a colonel of the security contractor, Crenell?
The who now?
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part. Right choice. We're in. Do it, sire.
I don't... God, what's the... The fascist death... Oh, God. His name was Ellis Courtenaire. He was part of a security detail here in Martinez. Oh, God, come on.
Oh, yes. That one.
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers.
Exhaust him with proof. The gun. The murder weapon is the perfect opener.
2 minutes.
The scent of blood in the air.
I don't know if I can
But
do
what
this right
else?
now.
There was something you can't remember.
Ballistics. Communist. What am I forgetting?
Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof.
Right, okay, good.
There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. Nowhere else. Nowhere in all of Martinez have you seen them this spring.
There were Maybells behind the victim's window.
Damn Maybells. So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in Martinez, only here.
They blossom on the islets before we fertilize them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May before they ruined.
Okay, I really don't have time. One moment. Okay, well, that was horrible. Yeah, Kim's pale-aged orange aerostatic jacket was sold out like the second I refreshed the page, but I was able to grab one of the black ones.
South, the Bay of Martinez is dotted with little freckles of islets.
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
A young woman named Clausier. Ring any bells? These dried flowers were behind her window.
Clausier.
You know her, right? She had an intimate relations with the victim, the merc.
With the victim.
There is a small tremble. Looks like a smile. A crooked smile. Yet isn't quite voluntary. He's about to burst.
We've done the ballistics. Shot came from this island.
I saw you poking around there.
You had direct visibility. You've been here a long time, Mr. Dros. Too long.
I'm ready to die.
He's practically admitting to it. Just one thing remains unclear. The rifle does not seem to have a scope.
One thing. Where's the scope? How did you make the shot without a scope? We have everything else.
Forget about your stupid fucking scope. I don't know where it is. Find it yourself.
He lost it. He just doesn't know where it is. Forget it. Push on.
The view was perfect. With a pair of binoculars, I could have seen in the room.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
No, we don't need your co-op. Ah, jeez. You're a communist. I talked to the dead man. He told me communism killed him.
Stupid twat.
The lieutenant looks at you with worry in his eyes.
Sorry, Kim.
Intuition is an aberrant psychologism. Your brain is rotting.
He does not answer the provocation. It does not look like he...
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition.
It's a real gun. You look like imbecile.
Damn, he saw you. He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
Okay. Stop changing the subject. We have the murder weapon.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
You think we have the murder weapon?
4.46 jacketed ammunition, modified for range. We have it. This is it.
Fine. We have the murder weapon.
Good. This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Murder. You know who he was. A Coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood.
He was a soldier too. He was a man.
Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner. Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
So you shot him.
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you, while the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
Just nod. Hold my breath.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase, and I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth. I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
And then what?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white. Or what's left of it, anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Yes.
And you were looking at Dan, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The old man nods.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
The motive. This is where the motive is going to come from.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
And why were you looking at them that night?
I'm always looking.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
And if you don't like it?
Click.
You pull the trigger.
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
He will not stop now. These dialectical materialist types never do. Exploit it. You've got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift.
Ah, shit. Disturb motorics. High composure. Can we boost that? Composure. $72. What specifically did you not like about, what you saw the night of the murder?
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that.
You were jealous.
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore.
Oh, hurt people, hurt people. Mr. Projection over here.
And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second. Writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
This man has seen past her, like you did.
How long had you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
Past the Fell building on the coast? What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
What do you think she hid there?
Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Bru.
In the free state of Seminine, hidden away at the edge of the earth, near the Pale.
There it is again with the pail. This is the hidden buoy she told us about. You looked into it?
After she was gone.
Did you keep what was in it? When we found the submersible, it was empty.
No. Why would I do that?
This implies that he's thought about extorting her. Also, a little inconsistency here. He was surprised to hear her name Clausia before. Would he not have seen it on the documents?
You saw her name on the passport, but before, when I said her name is Clausia, you didn't seem to recognize it.
You didn't say Clausia in there.
Right. Well, what did it say her name was in the passport?
It was something. I don't remember. Why would I need that trash?
A strange confusion comes over him from time to time.
I did. She had a face like an archipelago, with those birthmarks. And a body, hard and lean and bruised all over. Black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook. On the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook? From the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged.
He's setting it up for you. The bruises. You can't make that out in a scope.
You could see her bruises through the scope?
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
How did you get close enough to see the bruises, Mr. Draw?
I have my ways.
What ways? Tell me.
Not in this lifetime, Dwat.
This one's gone. You're a bad detective. Lazy and bad.
One little thing I missed and I drown in anxiety.
Rightly so. Fix this now. Push on extra carefully.
Did you have feelings for the woman?
There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like stones dripping with water. Is he crying?
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
There have been others.
Yes, over the years. It's not unproletarian to feel something.
Was that why you left the dried flowers behind her window?
No,
Why then?
I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of her room on the floor, like she does sometimes.
When was this?
The day after I killed him.
You brought her Maybells?
Yes. I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
Say nothing.
Neither does he. In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes.
So, in conclusion, it wasn't about him. It was about her.
Her.
The lieutenant nods at you.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days.
Should we hurt him? Oh, I kinda want to hurt him. No. Not at liberty to say. Bastard.
I know she's gone. Locked up. Or on the run. Like she knew I was here.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, the oceanic wind washes 40-story towers. Above them, Lucerne Central Aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled by hybrid aircraft.
Look north.
On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still, she smiles among the crowd, among the great ghosts of the city she's leaving, for another, far south, smaller, distant, hidden, not like the great chandelier she sees sparkle in the night below her. Streetlights, towers, tenements, and water, and across it, a dark strip of ruins, barely visible, if she didn't squint her eyes. He knew she knows. She was looking at the island, figuring it out, day by day, cigarette by cigarette.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
Who knows what he's seen and done over the years? Enough. Take him in. Bend his arms behind his back and end this.
Been looking at anything else you haven't liked?
A tragic comedy.
A strange little engine seems to fire up in him again. The familiar put, put, put of hatred.
Yes, more specifically.
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez is the worst.
How come?
Because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world. Listening to race-themed radio shows. In the ruins, in their lorries. Pumped full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that Social Democratic Union and the farce of a Social Democrat who runs it.
Mr. Clare?
Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square, to spit on the working class.
Let him finish.
Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez proletariat. The rest of Revachol at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruins. In tents, like animals, like those boom-boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs.
Not the anodic music lovers. That all?
The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So, actually, no. The worst is that old cock parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Coyamoran, or some other island. That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain, it's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex. We did good when we pushed him under the horse car.
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only a nonsensical sputter. There was something about a statue and nihilistic advertising agency people might be worth investigating.
Disco whores. Statue. Mr. Clare. Rene. Yes.
Syphilis is a disease Philippe III contracted in a whorehouse. The statue is an abomination.
Abomination?
The bacteria entered his brain and made him squander trillions on sparkling wine.
That is technically possible, although Philippe III was not actually syphilitic. He was just mad.
And he still went on to govern Revachol for 25 years. We lost 2 million lives toppling that mode of government. And those grotesque statues too. Hundreds of them.
But it's still there.
What a keen remark. Yes, it is, isn't it? It's still there. Do you know why?
Because cynical advertising yuppies erected a deconstructed version of it.
That's right. Art is a bourgeois establishment.
Wait, the bullet hole in Philippe's heart. The statue had been shot. That was him.
Whoa.
It had to be. He's already proven capable of taking a far more complicated shot from here.
It was you. You shot the statue. There was a bullet hole in his heart.
I did. A needless, sentimental gesture.
Yes, shameful.
The fat union man let them put it there.
He keeps having opinions about the union's leadership.
You mentioned the union is social democratic, and Mr. Clare farts of a social democrat.
Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy.
Disappointment. So personal. He displays a familiarity with the union's top brass.
Who's a disappointment? Mr. Everard Clare.
That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass.
Edgar.
Ah, you mean Edgar.
He talks a big game about uprising and social base. They must have sent the smart one to some university in Le Jardin, where it's alienation this and hegemony that.
So you've talked to Edgar.
First against the wall with him.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time. Nothing happens in Martinez without them knowing.
Of course. Maybe the Clears asked him to.
Mr. Draw, did you kill the Crenel mercenary for the Clares to incite a riot?
You know why I killed that fucker, Dwat.
Again? What have you done for Edgar before?
Tried teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics. They didn't stick. We parted ways.
Okay, he didn't do the hanged man for them, but he's insinuating something.
Disco whores.
Horse.
Did you mean Renee earlier?
Every fucking morning. For 34 years. Royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And that uniform, like a parrot plumage. I won't even mention that he's a traitor to his race. A Patank maniac race traitor.
Now, I don't know about...
I remember him. I remember him from La Noce. Not him, personally. He's that one.
There doesn't seem to be a single person under the pine today. Not even Gaston. Alone.
There's no one there.
Fat and plump. Like a pheasant. Just begging to be popped off. Please, Mr. Dross. Shoot me.
You'd like to kill him.
Not yet. I like to look at him strut around, place the crosshair on his medals, right on his face, and just fiddle the trigger.
Save the treat for later?
He is a juicy bonbon, that one. A real treat for the black day. The blackest. When I put that gun in my own mouth, I think, no, don't waste it. Put this lead in that cock, Renee. For the boys he killed, And then I look at him throw those balls, and I suddenly feel better. I even hid one bullet, so I'd always have one for him. Haven't seen him around lately, strutting around. Must be down with arthritis. I hope it hurts like hell. I hope he sweats blood.
Renee is dead. He died of old age a couple days ago.
No,
Yes.
I waited too long.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dross. I am...
They're all dead now. Fuck it.
If he really wanted to kill him so bad, he would have done. There must have been 1,000 black days on these islands. His health ailing.
You cared about him.
All human beings care about each other. I cared for seeing his head explode. Now,
And you had 1,000 chances to kill him.
and I blew them all. Fuck you. You think I haven't seen people die? It's all I've seen them do. Fuck and die. All the other plans we had. To love. To colonize the Pale. It's all fucked.
He's not okay. This is just another black day in a row of black days. Something strange is keeping him together, making him endure.
What was the deal between him and Edgar? Logic? Fine. But if I fail this, I'm gonna be a little irritated.
The connection comes to you like a splash of cold water. Dark, cold water.
20 years ago, when you met Edgar, the Clares didn't run the Union yet, did they?
Hey.
He acknowledges it. Here we go. A twist behind the dark bend.
Who did?
That bourgeois cow. Tiffin Holly was her name. Licked the rich man's hand every time he came to town. Never seen a labor leader so hot on mutual cooperation. And money. She liked that too. That Holly was a real bridge builder and a deal maker.
She was also a woman, wasn't she? Like that Classier.
She was. And she was real soft on those money men. Had a Barbara Muscova bag over her shoulder that she liked to bring to work.
And then she just disappeared.
Called in, they say. On the eve of battle. Ran away. Vanished like a piss stain.
No, that's not quite it, is it?
Did she? They say her daughter called in, not her personally. But that wasn't really her daughter, was it?
No, I guess it was not.
Edgar had someone make the call. Why is that, Mr. Dross?
She couldn't make the call herself.
Here it is. The bend in the river.
Why?
Because she was dead.
Just say nothing.
The cow caught a bullet in her right lung. Fell into the canal grasping her tit and drowned. Or bled? Hard to say. It was a sloppy job. And a moving target. She was going home. Waddling. Dressed in yellow. Drunk like she often was. The ruins were black around her, and she had a yellow leather bag under her arm. She tried to cross the canal, heading home to Grand Couronne or Betancourt, someplace like that, where they build those new bâtiments for the people who flourish in the hell around her, and the ruins.
You shot her.
Someone shot her, or maybe the cow just fell. Nothing changed. Not in the material base.
Edgar didn't keep his part of the deal. If you were to testify to this, give the RCM something on Edgar, you could walk.
The lieutenant says in a voice even calmer, as if it were nothing at all.
We would strike everything you've done and process you as a POW. You were in a war. You were on assignment.
A degenerate worker state. Goat shit. No, thank you. I'm Revacholian. My days are short. I will rot away here, in a moral intern cell. I will not testify to anything.
Yeah, but you did do it. Okay.
I saw it happen, and I liked it. Everyone is a blobber in this world. Everyone betrays everyone. They're all already locked up. Glad we talked about what?
His lip curls.
Glad we talked about what?
Yeah, okay.
What strikes you about this gaunt man is not the stomach pain, or the cough, or the malnutrition. For a man who's spent 44 years hidden in the urban wild.
He's surprisingly okay.
Indeed, he speaks fluidly. His movements are rapid, if erratic. His voice, despite the cough, is there. It is capable of expressing complicated ideas. Above all, he seems animated.
Animated? By what?
It's a mystery. This animation comes at a cost too. Erratic hand gestures, thought processes cut off like threads, as he just stares at the logs or the reeds. He also suffers mood swings, bubbling to the surface, unconstrained by his nervous system.
Dementia?
You've seen demented people before. This feels similar, yet different. When his thoughts move, they are lucid, keen even, not senile.
Mr. Dross, are you okay? How is your memory?
No, I'm not okay. I shit blood, and I'm surrounded by insane people.
There it is again, erratic hand motions, bouts of rage, and the stomach thing too, of course.
Yosef Lilianovich Dross, you're under arrest for the murder of Ellis Courtney.
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken all around you.
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand?
But... No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
Does it have room for 3?
Not really. We could escort him to the pier, then either one of us can take him inland while the other stays here, but...
But then, who watches him while you're coming back here?
You come back for me? How about I go and send a boat back for you?
What is this farce?
Lillian. You could ask her, maybe.
I don't know if this is like a weird fork or whatever, but I guess I'll give it a shot. Wait.
There it is again. To your north, as it has been since you came to the coast. The reeds whisper, stalks rubbing against each other. But then, in the middle of it...
Oh my god, is this the fucking phasmid?
Something completely different. It sounds like a bow, very slowly being drawn against the strings of a violin. A very small violin, made of reeds and rushes.
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat.
Kim, shh. Do you hear that?
What?
What are you talking about? Is this... really us?
Your skin crawls.